Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Andrea and this is Beauty with Andy. Now, excuse the appearance today. I wanted to do a video but I'm not feeling the best. I'm feeling really ill. If you've seen recent videos, I would have explained that I've got a little lump on my neck here and it's giving me really bad pain. I was taking paracetamol and it was working, but it's suddenly stopped working. I'm taking like the maximum dose of it, so I'm taking it 4 times a day, and you can't exceed that. Anyway, I was due an appointment with my consultant anyway, my haematologist, because things haven't been right with my blood for a really long time and they don't understand what the issue is. I don't think I've spoke about it, but last year they was testing me for leukemia. They thought I had like kind of blood cancer. I haven't really spoken about it on the channel. The results came back fine, but now I'm worried about this lump on the back of my neck. So I spoke to the consultant today and he's worried that it's something in the lymph nodes here. So basically on Monday I had an appointment with him anyway, but it was going to be a telephone consultation, but because this has appeared on my neck, he can't do that. He wants to examine me, so I have to go into the hospital, which, as you know, it's not the best time to be going into the hospital with COVID-19. So yeah, I am mentioning that on the channel. I know that you're not supposed to, but it's just not the best time to be going into hospital with that. I did, stress my concerns to him, and they said I was his first patient of the day, and also hardly anyone's in the hospital at the moment. There's hardly any patients, it's emergencies only, and this is classed as an emergency, so I need to go in and see him on Monday. My appointment's 9:15 in the morning. Really nervous about it. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens then, what he thinks it could be. But yeah, I can't even get blood tests. Like, he sent me a form to get blood tests done and I can't get into the blood clinic till Wednesday. So my appointment's on the 18th at 9:15, which is the Monday, and I can't get into my local blood clinic till Wednesday the 20th. So what I might do is, since I'm going to be at the hospital anyway, I might try and get in to one of the blood clinics at the hospital if they're open. So that is my plan. Also, like, the way I'm going to have to get there is public transport, and my mum says the buses are only like every half hour, so I'm going to have to get up at the crack of dawn to actually get to the hospital in time, because it's 2 buses from where I live to the hospital, which I just don't feel like I'm well enough to actually go and get 2 buses. Well, it's 4 buses round trip really, when you think about it like that, but I know it has to be done. But just look how pale I'm looking, even more paler than normal. I'm a pale girl, we all know that, but just look at my eyes. Since I got this lump on the back of my neck, I'm like kind of tossing and turning at the night still, so I'm not sleeping very well at night, but I sleep throughout the day so much, and then when I wake up I'm still really tired. I feel exhausted constantly. So yeah, I don't think, I mean, obviously I'll be able to tell if it's a lump at the back of my neck, but I don't think I'll be able to see anything until the blood test results come back. So I want to get them bloods done as soon as possible, and like I say, if the hospital's open then I can do that. Obviously it's open, but if the blood test clinic's there, I think they've got about 2 or 3 in the hospital that I go to. If one of them's open, then I can get my bloods done there, and then just cancel the blood clinic near where I live, and they'll get it back quicker, whereas I'll have to wait for the results. But anyway, this isn't a video, this isn't like a story time or anything. I just thought I would give you an update on my health, because I did put recently that I wasn't doing any more videos because I'm not feeling very great. But I want to do one. It's just going to be a quick one. It's not 3 looks 1 palette or anything. It's just going to be testing. I do want to do 3 looks 1 palette with this. but I want to test it against the old formula. I said I wanted to do this in my Shop My Stash. So basically what I want to do, yeah, is this side. I want to test these eyeshadows against the old palette that I've got, and then what I can do is tell you how it performs. If I think this is a new formula compared to the older formula. The older formula I've had a few years, so I imagine it won't perform as well. But eyeshadows do last quite a long time, and I've only got this new palette because I know that at some point I'm going to have to declutter that one. That Shaaanxo, the older one, I will be decluttering when I do my eyeshadow palette declutter. So yeah, let's just get into this. So let's pop the makeup on. Right. So yeah, just ignore the pasty appearance. I know you guys don't mind. I just needed to explain what's going on, really. Just in case you think, oh, she looks ill today. I know you guys probably don't think like that, but I just wanted to explain what's going on. And hopefully the lump isn't going to be anything too serious. Hopefully it will just be an infection that I can get antibiotics for and it'll be gone. But I don't know. You know, I am worried about it. I've said this in a previous video as well. So, sorry, that was the Sephora smoothing primer. So far I like it. I've not used it that much. It's 15ml. I don't foresee it lasting a long time, so I'll need to get another smoothing primer at some point. And then we're going to go on with the e.l.f. hydrating primer, just in the areas that we didn't put the smoothing primer. Really like this one. I'd definitely pay full price for it, but I paid like £3.99. I think it's £6.50 originally. It even smells nice. I like to put it under my eyes just to give it a bit of hydration. This one is 14ml, so this one is even smaller than the Sephora one. Right, and then we'll put some foundation on. No, we won't. We'll put the PS Beauty strobing cream on. It's in the shade Pearl. I mean, even doing that hurts. I don't know what's going on. My mum's lent me some like ibuprofen gel. Like I said, I'm taking paracetamol as well, so it just doesn't seem to be working. Maybe I just need something stronger. Yeah, so we're using this foundation. So we're really getting to the bottoms of it. It's the Maybelline Bourjois City Radiance. And guess what? The camera's flashing. So it's going to die on us soon. Sounds like the camera's feeling as weak as I am today. And I've put my Keep It or Declutter video up using the Urban Decay Naked Free. I finally got that up, I think today. Well, yeah, this morning. That was one of the videos I had to refilm. So I think after this video, I think that'll be it for this week, because I would have filmed 3 when I said that I was only going to film the Shop My Stash, and I'll just take that little bit of a break till Monday. I mean, we're on Wednesday now anyway. Oh, it was my mum's birthday today, by the way. Thank you to all you guys who wished her happy birthday on Instagram and liked all the like little pictures I put on for her. I managed to get her a birthday cake, so that's good. I just tried to make it as good as possible. She knows I was really ill. She said, you didn't have to come if you're ill. And I said, well, Mum, it's your birthday. And not only is it your birthday, it's your 70th. So of course I was going to come. I've had a busy day though. I had to go and pay her bills. And there was quite a few bills that I needed to pay. Go to the pharmacy and collect a medication. So yeah. And then get a few things from Tesco for her. I'm just going to turn my hair up, just this bit here. So yeah, I had quite a busy day today. Then I went round in the morning, gave her a present. The only thing is, I ordered her a cup with 70 on, a really, really pretty cup. And it said it was dispatched on Sunday. It's from the UK, so I thought it would have been here by now. So she didn't get that for her birthday. But all the other presents she got, I just need to keep an eye out from Royal Mail. Maybe it will come tomorrow. If it comes tomorrow, I'll just deliver it tomorrow for her. Which I wasn't supposed to be going around tomorrow, but if it comes, I'll just drop it off. Right, so that's foundation on. Now let's go in with concealer. So it's just the Rimmel Wake Me Up one. Actually no, let's make sure there's no brush marks on the face. So yeah, on Monday, I mean, I'm not too happy about having to get on public transport. I'm a bit nervous about that, to be honest, but it needs to be done for me to see the consultant. I just hope there's not a lot of people. I mean, at 8 o'clock in the morning there shouldn't be that many people on the buses, so I'll just have to see. And my mum said, well, if there's a lot of people on the bus at that time, wait for the next one, but I can't really do that when I've got to be at the hospital for 9:15. It's at least a 10-minute walk off the bus into the actual place that I need to go. So yeah, I need to at least save 10 minutes for that. And then obviously at the bus station where I live, it could also take half an hour for another bus. But luckily there are 2 different buses that take you to the hospital in my town, so you know it shouldn't really be waiting that half hour, but I need to just give myself that amount of time. Anyway, that's enough about my health. How are we all doing? Hope you're all well. The Beyond Radiance. This white powder on the eyes, not on the eyes, just underneath the eyes. Right, I'm going to zoom in. Right, so we're going to go in with a Chanel bronzer. In fact, no we're not. We've not powdered. I think I'm just going to use quickly the Bar Banana Brighten Up Powder by Essence. I was going to be using the Too Faced one, but I just want to use this very, very quickly. So today, guys, this afternoon I got back from my mum's, and I noticed in the evening that I'd left my front door open. I hadn't locked it like I always do, so I don't know what that was about. Anyone could have walked in. So I live in a communal building, like there's 3 other flats and me, so there's 4 people here. It's not the safest of places to live, so yeah, I mean that is the first time I've ever done that. I think it's because I've got all kinds on my mind, and I had like quite a bit of shopping as well, so instead of putting it down and locking up, I just didn't. And I must have thought, well, I'll lock up after I've put the shopping away, but I just forgot about it. Right, so now we're going to put the Chanel bronzer on. Gives a really nice radiant bronze look, this. Like I said the other day in the video, the more I'm using it, the more I'm getting to like it. I do understand now what the hype is around this bronzer, but I wouldn't buy it again. I don't particularly like cream bronzers. I'm using it now because, you know, I've had it for quite a while and cream bronzers don't last. So I want to get as much use out of it as possible before it goes bad. So I'm just going to blend that in a little bit, and then we're going to go in with the Imagination Highlight to the Moon palette. It's amazing what makeup does though, isn't it? When you're feeling crappy, put a bit of makeup on. Already I feel better, even though my neck is throbbing. I feel better than I did when I sat down and was telling you how bad I'm feeling. So it's just amazing. And of course, once I know anything, I will bring you up to date on it. I'm just hoping it's right. So again, we're going in with Literally and Warrior. I always mix them two together. When I first got this palette, I only used Literally, but I like how it looks. I'd say Literally is quite warm, and then Warrior's cool, and when you mix them together it looks really, really nice. But it's going to get to a point, because I don't have as much Warrior, where I'm just going to have to use Warrior. And that, to me, that's more of a contour shade, but it's alright. Right, let's get some powder on to sculpt that out. Right, I'm just trying to establish which blusher to use. Part of me really wants to use the Hourglass one. Yeah, let's put that on. It's Luminous Flush. I really want to get some more of these minis. They're just so expensive. Worth it though. These are the kind of blushes that you can build up. And I think if you want a blusher and they do it in a mini, I think why not get the mini? Because you're never going to go through, if you've got a lot of blushes in your collection especially, you're never going to go through all of the blushes in your collection. So yeah, why not get the minis? The thing is though, with that Hourglass one, it is super miniature. I've got a mini, I've got a Too Faced mini, and that's 2 grams, and then the Hourglass one is only 1.3, and it's like, wow, there's barely any product. And I think you can get bronzers that size as well, and I want to try, they do the luminous bronzers, don't they? I want to try that. Right, so what I want to do now is, I don't know if I want to go with the Beyond Radiance. Let's see what's in here, because I've never actually used any of the powders other than the white one. Maybe we could use this one. That's quite like skin. So what I do with that is, if you've not watched these videos before and you've not been watching my Get Ready With Me's, I use it to like buff out the skin. Well, not the skin. I use it like to buff out everything, and it looks really, really luminous, and it's like the Hourglass powders, except for a fraction of the price. £10, and I think they're really, really worth it, guys. I've never actually used that Beyond Radiant shade, so I didn't know how it was going to turn out. Right, so now what I want to do is I want to put on some of this W7 Ready Set Glow in rose gold. Ow. Right, and then we're going to be using, normally, like, I've been using my Ofra palette quite a bit this week, but I want to use, and it looks, every time I pull this out, it's breaking even more and more. When I got this from Depop, it was like breaking quite a bit, so I like kind of squished it back in, and it just looks like it's really breaking now. So let's try and push it back in. I don't know, guys. I'm just gonna put it on the vanity table and shift it later. It's like cracking quite a bit. I'm just trying to squish it back into the pan. I mean, I'm not mad, because obviously I only paid £2 for it, and the retail price of these blushes are £8.99, so I'm not mad at it or anything, but I just want to try it because it looks really, really dark. Where's that brush I've been loving using? Right, okay, so I've found it. I just need to clean it off. Right, so this one is the Molten Rose Glow, and I used, can't remember which one I used, but I used the dark, Blissful, that's it, the darker one in my Ofra palette, and it looked so nice. Considering I'm such a pale girl, it looked really, really nice. And this one is looking nice as well. It doesn't, like, it looks dark in the pan, but it doesn't come across as being really, really dark on the skin. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? What does everyone think of these Maybelline highlighters? Because I think when you compare them to the Ofra ones, I think for the price point they're just as good. But like I said, I do want to try a full size Ofra. Can't stop putting it on. And they don't show texture at all. Not like some of the drugstore highlighters show texture. This doesn't at all. Like, can you see how it's like kind of like broken a little? Yeah, so I was just saying, can you see how it's broken a little bit? But I mean, I can keep smushing it back into the palette and hopefully I'll get some use out of it. I can always buy one. Now I know like the shade does actually suit me. I mean, just look at that. That is serious glow. If you love a high beaming highlighter and you're pale, I wouldn't hesitate in getting this one, because it does actually suit pale girls. As you can see, I'm pale, and also if this one is a really good one as well. So this one's Diamond Glow and this one is Molten Rose Gold, and I've also got Sandstone Shimmer, which is nice. Sandstone Shimmer I think is a little bit darker than this. I will be doing reviews on the entire collection. I don't know if I'm going to get the gold one that they've got out. I don't know about that. It'd be nice to have the set. So yes, right, so that's that. So now we're going to move on to eyeshadows. I just need to get the older Shaaanxo palette. Okay, so this is the older Shaaanxo palette. It's a lot paler in comparison to the newer one. So that's what it looks like, and then that's the back of it. So you get a 9 colour lipstick palette, which is this. I think I've said on several other videos, I actually bought this from another person on a Facebook selling group. I've used the lipsticks I think once, but they're at the point now where I've had it a few years, well about 2 years I would say, and it doesn't feel right using them, so I've not used them in a long time. And then these are the shades that are in the newer palette as well. I don't know whether they've been reformulated, and that's the whole reason behind this video really. So I think we're going to use this one on the left eye and then this one on the right eye. So at the moment the only difference I can see is the fact that these ones have got names on them. I need to check obviously that the formula is still the same, and I'll know that by obviously how they go on the eyes. The only thing is with the older palette, it's old, you know, powders get old, so we just need to see how it performs. I just need to put some of these brushes away, they're really in the way. But yeah, I want to see how they perform, and yeah, let's get into it. Right, so that's the new one, so we'll start off with the old one first, and we're doing that on the left eye, aren't we? I always start from the right eye first. So the brush, so we're going to go in with a cream ivory shade. Like I said, these ones don't have names, so I'll have to make my own up, and we're going to put that all over the eyelid. I'm going to colour switch the brushes, so obviously the eyeshadows won't get mixed up, but I'm going to do this eye first anyway. But that's colour switch now, ready for when I have to use the other shade. And then we're going to go in with, I guess, this shade. This is the only shade that you could possibly use as a crease shade, and then we could always use that in the outer V and through the crease. So let's again get the brushes. Right, I'm going to go in with this so either one first. This is, I've not used it in a hot second, guys, and this is why I got a new one, just because I thought it was about time I got a new one, and I seen it at Christmas, had some Christmas money left over, and I just thought, right, why not treat yourself and get this newer version she's brought out. But I always knew that I wanted to do this comparison between them, because I want to know, obviously it was a while since she brought out the newer version from the older version excuse me, of the palette, and I wanted to know if the formula was the same. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I think I'm going to go in with this pencil brush. It's a Sigma E30. Just going to colour switch. Sorry about that, the card was full. So yeah, I think I'm going to go in with a Sigma pencil E30, just like for the outer V. And like I said, we're going to go in with this, it's like a red toned brown here. That's still pigmented. Oh shoot, the wrong eye. See, I'm naturally drawn to the right eye. I'll wipe that off. I don't have a wipe here. Let's start again. I'm going to try and go into the crease. Well, not try, I am going to go into the crease as well. And then this brush is quite handy. I like to use this as a blending brush. So guys, this is a really simple look. Like I said, it's all about testing the formula. So I don't want it to be too harsh. So guys, the other day, or yesterday, I don't know why I keep saying the other day, I'm losing track of days, I signed up to Netflix. I don't know why I did it, because there's like things on Now TV I still want to watch, but I got a great deal a few weeks back on Now TV, and I only pay £1.70 a month for that for the next few months. So I thought, why not get Netflix again, which I have. So yeah, we'll be watching Netflix soon, and I'll be telling you what I'm watching on there as well. And the book that I couldn't remember in a few videos back that I was reading, I still haven't read much more of it. It's called Missing. It sounds like it's going to be really, really good. So yeah, I'll let you know about that. I'm liking this look already, you know. I'll have to start using that pencil brush more. You get quite a lot of control from a pencil brush, especially when you're no good at like placing the shadow in the inner corner. Right, so then with my finger I'm going to go in with my favourite shimmer, which is this blue brown shade here, which feels quite creamy still. I don't know. what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the other eye, and then I'll probably go in with some spray at the end. And I want to do some swatches as well, just as a comparison on all the eyeshadows, and we can see just how similar the shades are. I mean, the shades should be similar, it's the formula that might not be, just because this one is bad. So whatever happens now, I'm going to declutter it anyway, just because it's old. Don't know what happened then. I think it was just eyeshadow. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go in with that cream ivory shade. Just can't find my brushes. I don't know where they've all gone. In the brow bone, like I always do. I always thought this was a dupe. I didn't know that I actually bought this one. This is a Real Techniques one. I thought that's quite heavy for an actual dupe of the Real Techniques, but it is Real Techniques 200. So I must have bought this when I bought some of the Bold Metals ones. So it is actually a good brush. Right. So yeah, that's looking good. So now I need a brush that I can use for inner corner highlight, which is this one. And I'll just show you what I'm using. There's only really one shade to use, which is the second one in on the first row. Yeah, that looks nice. I think on the lash line I'm going to be putting some of this brown shade down. We'll use a pencil brush. I'm just gonna, even though it's the same shade on the pencil brush, I'm gonna, actually no we won't, we'll use this little fine brush to get more control. Let's run that through the colour switch. Right, so that's that. Just blend it in a little bit more. Yeah, I quite like that. So let's see if we can do the same on the right eye. I'm just gonna like kind of move that because obviously that's from the older palette, so I'll be back in a sec. Okay, right, I've just got my wipe, so let's take that away. We don't need the older one now, so I can pop that away and bring the newer one forward. I'd be interested to see how it does perform, and I can tell you the names that Shaaanxo and BH Cosmetics came up with, because like I said earlier, she's put names on all these eyeshadows, which I really do appreciate, because like from a consumer's point of view, I don't like palettes without names on. I don't know why, I just don't. I love to see what brands come up with for names. So yeah, I'm glad she's done that. So thank you, Shaaanxo and BH Cosmetics, if you ever come across this video. So right, yeah, I need to put that through the colour switch because I did use it for the brow bone highlight. Right, so we're going to go in with Clarity, which is this one here. So I've never ever used this palette, so it's first impressions. The only thing I've ever done with it is swatched it. Right, so at the moment I can't really tell any difference because obviously it's a cream ivory shade, you know, you can't really tell a difference. So I'm just going to make sure there is no other colour on here, and we'll be using this brush again. I use this brush all the time for my crease. Sometimes I'll use my Smashbox one, but because I don't know how pigmented these eyeshadows are, I really want to tread carefully. So we're using a Buttercup. Hang on a minute. This is Buttercup in this palette. It already looks lighter than, that's lighter than the one in the original. I wish I could show you, which is the best way to show you. Right, I'm going to try and put these up the best way I know how, and you'll be able to see. So this is the original, and then that's the new one. Can you see how much darker the original looks? So that is just one eyeshadow that I've noticed so far. So let's see what it looks like on the eyes. Yeah, it's definitely lighter. Right, so we've gathered that this one is lighter. I told you it was Buttercup, didn't I? I'm just going to build the shade up, I think. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad shade, but I like the one in the original. There's powder everywhere. Right, so we'll leave that as it is. And hopefully the next shade we use is going to be very, very similar. Terracotta. This one, I think this is darker. Let me just have a look. We'll see when we do the swatches how similar they are. I think it might be darker, guys. Right, so let's just go in with a pencil brush. Not really going out anywhere, so it doesn't matter if the eyes don't look the same. So yeah, we're going in with Terracotta. How similar it will look, I really don't know. There's fallout here. There wasn't fallout with the other one. Let's just... No, I can't see any fallout on my eye. Right, let's blend it. I was hoping to give a great review on this palette, this new one, but I'm really not too sure now. The colours, the eyeshadows, sorry, they don't seem to be the same shades, but I could be wrong, and that's why we'll do the swatches. Let's wipe this. There's definitely more fallout with this new one. Right, so now we're going to go in with Clarity again, just for the brow bone. And then last but not least, she's called it Avocado, which is this blue brown shade. Very, very smooth, guys. I like the smoothness of that. Much smoother than obviously my older formula. Much pigmented as well. And there's more fallout. Which you can kind of get over the fallout, can't you? And I won't be using the older eyeshadow palette anyway. I just wanted to do this and see how similar they are. If the formulas change, that kind of thing. Right, so I'm either imagining things, or this eye here does not look the same shade as this eye. Let me just close my eyes and we'll see. What do you think, guys? This one looks darker. Like I said, again, we'll find out in the swatches. And then we're going to go in with Holy Grail, which was that inner corner highlight that I used. So again, I'm just going to put this little brush through the colour switch. And then I will go in again with Terracotta just on the lash line. Same brush, I've run it through the colour switch. Build the eyeshadow up a bit. Can't get my words out. I'm not too sure. Don't know if it's dark. I think it is darker. Right, so what I'm going to do is put mascaras on, brows, lipstick, and then we're going to do the swatches. And what I'll do is we'll do the first row up from each palette on the back of my hand, and then we'll talk about it and we'll see if I am in fact true or I'm imagining it. I might just be thinking they're darker when they're actually not. So mascara, no, brows first. And there's loads of fallout yet again on my face. It's weird, I thought there'd be more fallout with the older palette. Now, I don't know where I'm getting all this glitter from on my forehead. I mean, I've used matte bronzers, so I don't know where that's coming from, and it's not come from the Beyond Radiance palette either, so I'll have to try and figure out where that's come from. Yeah, this is definitely darker. I mean, it's not bad, you know, I'm not saying it's worse than this one, but I really do like the shade, and I bought the palette for the same shades. I mean, how can they call it a remix if the eyeshadows aren't the same? Hopefully, well, not hopefully, I don't want them to be any different, but we'll see when we do the swatches. Okay, right, so now lipstick. I want quite a moisturising one. My lips are feeling a little bit dry. Let me just go and have a look what I've got. Right, so from what I can remember, this one is a matte, but it is quite moisturising. So let's put a bit on. It's Aquarius by Colourpop and Kathleen Lights. I actually like Contempo better, the one I wore in my other video. But even though these are matte, they're really, really moisturising, which is what I like. And I do like it, I just like the Contempo shade more. And I've just had another look in the mirror. You can definitely see that this shade is darker, and obviously this eye is darker than that one. But yeah, let's do some swatches. Let's just take the hair down first. This needs a wash. I'll be washing it tomorrow. Getting the hair mask on it. Right, so let's do some swatches. Let's just zoom back a tiny bit. Okay, let's go in with the old one first, since I used that first anyway. So you probably won't be able to see this cream shade on, but I'm gonna put it on anyway. Swatch it a few times. It's making me want to test all the shades against each other now, but obviously when we do the swatches we won't have to do that. I mean, when I saw this in TK Maxx, the other one, the remix, I thought, well, if I buy that I can just declutter the one I've got. It's that old, you know, I could do with a new one, but not too sure now, guys. This shade here, this middle shade, is quite powdery, so it's nice though when it's blended in, because it's like a highlighter shade. I'm going to swatch it twice. Right, so it's there, and then the last one on that row is this, like, it's kind of a mink shade. So that's the first row from the original palette. I don't know where I'm going to put the other shades. I might just have to put them up the arm a little bit, because I want you to be able to see them against one another in comparison. Right, so we'll start off with Clarity, which again is a cream ivory shade, which you're not going to be able to see, but I'm going to try and build it up as best I can. They're not the same. So clarity there, and then the cream ivory shade there. You might not really be able to see it, so let's go in with the darker shades. So we've got the Holy Grail shade, which is the shimmer. Yeah, it's darker. Let's do it a different way. I want to show you side by side the shades. Right, so you're not going to be able to see the cream ivory shades, but I did show you just now that they were darker. I'm going to try it again. I want to show you them side by side, which is going to make the video a little bit longer, but I want to be able to show you if they are similar or not. So now we're going in with clarity again. I'm having to build it up, I'm having to go in a few times. This one looks a smidgen darker, but I'm not 100% on it. So they are pretty similar shades. Right, so next we're going to go in with the old one, and again it has no name. So it's the middle shade there. Make sure my hand's dry. Gonna go in twice. It's a really pretty shade that. Take the colour off my finger and then go in with Holy Grail, that's what it's called, in the Shaaanxo new palette. Just doesn't seem as pigmented, guys. It's not me, is it? They do look like two different eyeshadows. This one looks darker. This one's from the older Shaaanxo. Right, so let's try some other eyeshadows. Got a feeling this video is going to be extra long. Right, so then we're going to go in with this like mint shade here. Wiping the hand off. I'm going to go in with that twice as well. And it's called Glow Baby in this palette. Never used this one before, so I don't know how it's going to look. To be fair, I'll swatch it twice. Again, this one looks darker from the original and it looks more pigmented. Right, so just on that row alone I am really disappointed, because when she brought out the palette she didn't say anything about reformulation of the eyeshadows. Right, so then we're going to go in with this shade here, which I thought was darker. This one is getting gritty, so I can tell it's getting older, so the formula could have changed. I'm not saying that it isn't, but the other eyeshadows are fine, and these look like how I remember them. This shade looks like how I remember it, and it's called Buttercup in the newer palette, which is this one here. And it just looks like, yeah, it's just not the same shade at all. Right, so older palette, newer palette. I mean, I thought it was me before when I was using the eyeshadows. It's just not. It's the palette. Right, this one we're going to be testing next. Again, I'll do two swatches because I have the other one that is super pigmented. So now we'll go into the newer palette. Surely some of these have got to be the same formula and the same texture. I mean, they're really pigmented, don't get me wrong. No, this is more gold. This is more gold and this is more bronze. So this one from the newer palette, what's that called again? Beach Babe. So that's Beach Babe, and then that is the one from the older palette. I'm going to be keeping this older palette. I thought I could declutter it, but it's got, you know, it's got so many gorgeous eyeshadows that I absolutely love. And I like, when I've used the new Shaaanxo remix, I might really come to love that as well. But it's not got the same eyeshadows in it, it's not got the same formulas. The undertones are very, very similar, don't get me wrong, but it's not the same, as we can see when we're doing the swatches. Right, so we'll do this one that I have on the lash line. See if this one's the same. I'm drying the hand. Right, it's like a kind of like a brick red. That's the one from the old palette. Let me just dry my thing, well, take it off with my finger. Guys, terracotta in the new palette. No, not even close. Can you see how that one's so much darker and pigmented than this one here? Very, very disappointed. So I think we've only got 3 eyeshadows in the, like in both palettes, for the remix to redeem itself basically. Right, so we're going in with this shade here. So I don't want it to be, obviously if it's wet it will appear more pigmented. 2 swatches of it. And we're going in with Toasted from the newer palette. Again, they're so smooth because they're new eyeshadows, which you'd come to expect. The shades are off. I think these two are probably the most similar I've swatched so far. That's what they're looking like, but that one still doesn't look the same shade as that. But yeah, that's what they look like. Now what I really want to see what the blue brown shades look like against each other, because on this side of the eye it looks darker than this side. And like some people would say, yeah, but that's an older palette, you know, the eyeshadows do deteriorate and don't perform the same way. But like the eyeshadows on this eye are darker. And I remember like using it and it's stayed the same, the performance of it has stayed the same. It doesn't need to be decluttered. I just bought a new one because it is getting older and will need to be decluttered at some point. So that's why I got this one. Right, so no, we're doing the older palette first. So again, it's the blue brown shade, and it's Avocado in the palette. It's the one that's all over the eyelid. This is super, super smooth and buttery. I'm going to do 2 swatches just to make it fair. No, they're not the same. They've definitely got the same undertone, but this one is darker than this one. Let's just blend that one out a bit if we can. So that's what they look like. Like I said, I'm not saying the remix is a bad palette, I'm just saying I'm disappointed that the shades don't reflect, you know, they're not the same shades basically. And then I'm not too bothered about this shade because I don't really go in for blacks, as you know, but we'll swatch it anyway. Do 2 swatches. So much lighter, so much lighter. So I think the nearest shades are, I think the blue brown shade Avocado is really, really close to the older one in the Shaaanxo palette, but it is a smidgen darker, and also I think Toasted is quite close as well. The rest of the eyeshadows, the rest of the 7 eyeshadows in the palette are nowhere near. I don't know if you agree with the swatches, but yeah, I mean, it's a good palette, this remix one. It is really, really good, and I like the fact that they didn't put lip creams in again, because I don't like lip creams. I don't wear them and they go bad really easy, just like all cream products do. So you've got this side as well. And I've got obviously nothing to compare that to because she hasn't done a palette like that before. I just really wanted to do this comparison to see if the shades were alike in the palette, and I really thought that they would be. I mean, I didn't look at the palette. If you look at it, like, yeah, you can see that the similarities just aren't there. They just look completely different in the palettes. I might try and take some photographs with my iPhone. If I try and take it with this SLR, they just won't upload, the files are too big. But you can definitely see that the shades in the palette just aren't the same. Like I said, the only two that are close are Toasted and Avocado. But Avocado in the Remix palette is darker. But obviously you'd have to really look at someone's face to actually say, are you wearing two different eyeshadow palettes? And I don't think anyone would be rude enough to come up to me in the street and say, you're wearing two different eyeshadow palettes, because they wouldn't even think that I had two different eyeshadows on. But I wanted to do this video really just to test the formula, like I said in the beginning. When she brought out the Remix palette, there was definitely no word of it being reformulated. Like I said, the shimmers are really smooth, and obviously in my older palette they're not going to be as smooth just because it's got age on its side. But it wasn't really the age of the palette and the smoothness of the eyeshadows I was testing, it was the shade and the colours. The colours don't really change, and haven't changed since I bought this older one, and the formula hasn't really changed, so I know it's still performing the same way. I'll probably keep this around for a little bit longer just because there's shades in here that I really like. I mean, I like this one. This one is darker than Buttercup in the newer one, and I like this blue brown. I don't know which one I like the best, so I'll play around with that a little bit more. And there's some of the shimmers that I like more, like this one I like more than what's in the new Remix one. So it's a little bit of a letdown, but I do need to like play around with this more, especially the newer eyeshadows that they put in. The only ones I've used so far are Island Glow and Dream Girl, so that one there and that one there, that peach shade. I've actually done a video and I used Bestie as well in the outer corner, so I've used those three down there. I just want to use it a little bit more before I decide whether to keep or declutter it. But if I do declutter it, it will be going to be my niece anyway, because it's a practically brand new eyeshadow palette. Or I might try and sell a bundle on Depop or something like that. But yeah, this is the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if it's a long one. They all are. They all seem to be a long one these days. But yeah, I appreciate you watching. It really does mean the world to me. If you've not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button down below and click the notifications bell, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.